Pisces.
Hello Pisces, this is your forecast for June 2013. And you know what? I would like to start off with saying that you're arriving. And then you may ask, arriving at what? Well, go back to what you started thinking about here, dreaming about in February, when that whole stellium was in your 12th house for dreaming, you know, envisioning your goals and where you were heading and where you were questioning the universe. Now, in March, there was an awakening, starting to take first steps, attempts towards whatever your goal was. At the time, it's kind of like, I see myself in this new light. You know, so you were sensing and feeling and touching the flavors of how that vision, that dream felt to you. Kind of embodying now the dream. But it takes time to arrive, you know, and then April, I see that there was a lot more action now, taking steps towards balancing out how you could put this into action. How would your financial situation look like? What could you invest, or how could you balance your financials differently to get you to this new goal? And then May, all about communicating this, you know, doing the research and being on the net, perhaps also to get some more, should I say, information that can pertain to kind of get the glue together to tie this all in. And then, of course, networking and talking to people that can connect to this vision or dream of yours. So when I say arriving now, it's because these planets now have entered into your 4th house. The 4th house is the bottom of the chart, so that's an achievement. Just like the 10th house is the achievement in reaching as far as your career goals, but this is reaching the bottom of your chart, which is your root, your essence, the who you are in real life, your inner self, values, worth, not like the 2nd house sense of self-worth, but this is the essence of the essence. This is your core. This is you looking at where you've come from in the long-term past through family and generations, and now looking at how you've been working towards these goals of finding and redefining who you are, and what now becomes important for you on your earth walk, your earth path. What are you here now to achieve? And it's like you're touching something here that's very essential, because as you shed the old path, you're also starting to implement what becomes or has become important for you in your own essence to express to the world at large. Okay, so there's a transformative energy in this, and Jupiter has been with you on this journey since summer of 2012. It's leaving you at the end of this month. But during this time, I see how you've been exploring your purpose, why you're here, what you've concluded and now put in your past. And in this in-between area, it's like, if this part of my karma is over, and that's my future, where am I in this middle phase? Okay, so you've been in this middle phase, balancing out the old karma, opening up for new grand visions, which is Jupiter, and has been in this very space. So you're kind of looking to, what should I say, prompt yourself out there, okay, to take that leap of faith. Jupiter is like the Fool card, you know, in the Tarot, jumping off a cliff in full faith. Well, you'll start seeing now, this month, how things are going to gel, come together for you. Mars is there giving you also the drive to complete whatever needs to be completed, because when we come to the 25th of this month, Jupiter is going to move into your 5th house of new projects, fun, recreation, freedom from bondage that you've had now for several months. It's going to give you a free time between now, July, and next year, summer. So this is going to be a fun time for you coming up. But right now, you're creating the closure, closing these old chapters, as you know that this new book is opening up, and you'll know it this month. Okay, you might have been waiting for some time knowing where you're heading but waiting for some kind of confirmations. Well, these confirmations will put you on the chart, on the map of your own tour guide, so to speak. This fourth house has to do with home and family, you know, your parents as well, your lineage. There might be more focus on that. Maybe they're going to be needing some help this month. It also rules property and real estate and the way you live. So a lot of focus is going to go in on that too. How do you want to live? Where do you want to live? Is there a move? Jupiter wants at times to kind of send you way off on your wings to a totally different area. Not just the other side of town, but the other side of the country, maybe even out of country. There's this longing, this calling, you know, to have this magnificent change where you can see yourself in this new light of who you are. And the new moon this month is on the 8th, also in this very area. So the intentions for this month on the 8th would be all about, what should I say, putting in stone this feeling of who you are in this new sense and where it is you were wanting to go from here. Because this is the should I say, the launch board, the launching board of where you're going to land here in 6 months when the sun comes up to your 10th house, and then later by all the other planets. So the fourth house is always so important because this is when you're starting to rise in your chart, okay? You've been descending now for a half a year from what you achieved there at the end of last year, kind of going inwards, internalizing, thinking, feeling, dreaming a little bit more because you had your high there, but how can you now transform it as we cycle in spirals in our own evolution? So you're starting to lift on this new spiral. So this conclusion part is over, and we'll look at a couple of aspects here for you because the beginning of June, on the 1st, there's some unexpected news. This is coming to you between the 4th and the 2nd house. The 4th house is where your home is, and the 2nd house is about some money issues. News of either money coming together. It should be good because it is a sextile. But it could also be something unexpected, which Uranus does do. You know, Uranus is always very unpredictable. But I feel it should be good. Because this Mercury that we have right now is communicating with Neptune, your hopes, dreams, wishes, the visions that you hold, which is in your 1st house. It's like I see how you, ever since March, have been holding really tight onto this vision of what it is you want. Mercury is now going to have talks with Saturn. Saturn will lock it in. It's also a trine aspect. So if Mercury is right between Saturn and Neptune, and it's about your home, your personality, and your goals that you're reaching for, this should be really, really good for you beginning of June, on the 3rd. Also, I'm seeing that there's communication, long distance communication that should be pretty relevant to you here on the 1st week between the 3rd and the 7th. Both coming through written or spoken verbal communications, and also through Venus, which is coming in, joining the very same degree that Mercury had on the 3rd, is coming in on the 7th. So between those two, and Saturn up there in your 9th house, well, I don't know, if you've started any kind of new projects, for example, here earlier this year, right now you might be grounding it in the 4th house, the root, the bottom of your chart, where Saturn's now going to say, okay, let's see where you're going with this, you know. So that might be the test, the which I say, the exam that you're going to be taking. And on the 7th, you'll start seeing a whole lot of response from it. Very interesting, I'd say, because Venus and Neptune, Saturn, the same degrees as Mercury did on the 3rd. Then we have this new moon on the 8th. That is your home, property, who you are, at the basis of who you are, how you live, where you live. Like we said earlier in this video, That's coming in on the 8th, and it's really crowned by these great aspects of Venus and Mercury. So that's good. Go for it. I'm seeing on the 17th, Mars is going to be sextiling your Uranus, so expect something unexpected to come in that's really going to accelerate something for you. Once again, it's between the 4th house, property, you know, those things that are important to you in your home or family, being spurred on by Uranus in the 2nd house of finances, income. So if you're signing any contracts, perhaps for a new property, this would be the time to do so. If you're thinking refinancing, that could be a good time to do so. And if anything, if you are having any contracts written for house and home, do it by all means before Mercury goes retrograde later on this month on the 26th. No signatures of yours should be on any documents between the 26th of June into at least the 3rd week of July. I would say just let all of July go and start reassuming from August 1st, because you might not be happy with the way that deal panned out. All information may not have been there and come up and surprise you afterwards, you know, so stay away from that, especially when you're doing something big like property and home. This is where the aspects are for you. So get it all done at least by the 20th. You can go up to the 23rd to this full moon, but I wouldn't get closer to that retrograde, which is on the 26th. However, that 23rd is powerful because that's a full moon we have here, and that is doing the dance with Pluto. It is conjunct. And for you, this powerful full moon will be in the 11th house for organizations, friendships, new things coming towards you. It could be groups out there, maybe in the social networks, which somehow, some way is going to power up you, or you will be powering up them. And this full moon is even more so powerful, not only because it's with Pluto, which is like way dynamic, but it's also because it's carrying the residue of the full moon eclipse from last month. That's still lingering with us. And here it is in your house of vast groups, organizations, people, friends, hopes, dreams, wishes, and perhaps also income coming from some of this, which also the 11th house rules. So I think for you that's going to be very exciting, this full moon, 23rd. But recall though, Mercury goes to retrograde on the 26th, 2 days later. Now, Pisces, there is, for those of you who are single, let's talk a little bit about love and romance, okay? 5th house is the house of love and recreation, hobbies, and children, our children, those things that we love to nurture and have fun with. Both Venus and Mercury is in this area, and they are there from the very beginning here of June, so the already end of May. They will be moving into this area, and you're going to feel that end of May. It's like, you know, I really don't really feel like working. Now I just feel like having fun. This is the time of the year for you to have that recreational fun. And not just because it's summer and that's when people most take vacation. It's because this is your 5th house. This is like your inner summer. It just happens to be now in June. Now, for you who are single, expect that you might find some new love here this month, and even more so from next month onwards. When Jupiter enters into this phase, you can find somebody who's going to be really, really good for you, where Jupiter is just very generous in the sense of love. That's both in the giving out that you will be doing, but also in what you're going to be receiving in. For those of you who are already in a committed relationship, this will be an excellent time for the two of you as a couple to go do things, you know, find your recreational hobbies, go out there and do some water skiing, knee boarding, or whatever it is you love to do, hike a mountain, spend time together. And with your children, this is also a time to spend extra good quality time with them, do the things that they love and which will tickle their little hearts. And it's just a happy month. June is going to be wonderful. So I'll let you go with that for this month, Pisces. And it's always good to speak with you, connect with you, and also be inspired by you. So as you saw in the beginning of this recording, we have now created an app so you can download to your phone and watch your videos, monthly videos, directly from it. Yep, we're excited about that. So do, on your way out, Pisces, listen to your moon sign and your rising sign. And I'll see you next month. Bye now.